sure you change your frequency range if you want to do your start to your stop.
Sense, right.
Add in your so to punch in a number like 20 gigahertz, you type in 20, and you have this G here. So you press G, enters in gigahertz. So if you want to adjust the power level, which you won't, I don't think, need to do, it's set to 5 dBm. I think that's probably too high for really what you
sounds a little toasty, yeah.
0 would be fine, because 0 is like 1 milliwatt. So you can just do 0, and then there's no dBm here. So what you do is just hit X1, and now it's entered. So again, start, stop, power. Another thing, stupidly, is by default it only captures 201 points, but I mean you might as well capture as many as you want, as many as you can. So you go to sweep setup here, and just change the number of points to the maximum is 1601. It's a little bit slower, but you want to get the maximum number, especially if you're sweeping over that huge of a range. And then I think you can do some very much more advanced features. You can sweep power. You can sweep other things as well. So we'll just skip that. To get to calibration now, what you want to do is you go to, so you press calibration, calibrate menu. Then here, these are your options. You want to do a full 2-port because you want both connectors. So once you go to 2-port, you have 3 options: reflection, transmission, and isolation. So you click on reflection, and then you have 3 things that it wants to be programmed. Or you need to give it. You have to show it an open, a short, and a load. So you just have to land the probes across on the appropriate embedded structure, and then you press this. You'll hear it beep, and then you lift the probe up, land it again, press short on the short, of course. Then as soon as you hear it beeps, it's done.
What are we going to do for a load? We don't have a 50 ohm load on that thing, do we?
I don't know. But you could, I think the cal substrate, maybe you could use a combination.
The cal instead, yeah, you may have to.
And the cal substrate would be just as easy to use because it's just a piece of, it looks just like your chip. So when you get to the load, you may have to look this up, but typically, I think the CS5 substrate that we have would be the same as what we have in the calibration kit. Usually, from my experience, they're broadband loads. So then you just press broadband, it'll be finished. So you hit done now. So now you've done forward means port 1, and you can see it says here trans forward. So this is calibrating on port 1. So now port 1 is calibrated just for the reflection now. So you do the same thing on the port 2. So we'll do that now. And then again, every time you select the load, you have to select which type of loads. Just do broadband. Hit done. And when you're done, you can see that there's a line under all 6 of these. That means you're finished. So now hit standards, done. Now that you're done, it'll say computing cal coefficients. Now you want to do transmission. So I believe to do the transmission, do you have a through structure?
We do.
So then this one's the easiest one of them all because you just select do both forward and reverse, and it does all of them for you. You just sit there and watch, and it'll underline each test it's performed. Once you're done that, go to isolation, and there's it's in the manual, I looked it up and I forget, but unless I think SNR is extremely important to you, I forget the details, you can actually, this is what everybody does, is what Nathan told me to do, select omit isolation. The only time you wouldn't do that is under specific conditions. I think you can ignore that as well. Most people do. When you're done that, you hit done, and then you'll see it again say calibrating. You can save it if you want. I don't really know. I've always just calibrated it every time I needed to use it. Some people will save their cal data and reuse it, but it's not
safer.
Your calibration data, and
you can, but it's safer, especially if you're characterizing devices, to recalibrate it every time every day that you're gonna use it. So now this is terrible looking because we improperly calibrated it, but again, now you can. So now when you want to measure it, just select measure here. There's a few options. If you want to select just S11, you can use these soft keys to select which type of measurement you want to make. If you want to display them all, you go to the display button here, and now it gives you these options here. You want to select the top one, dual iQuad setup, 4 param displays, and then you can choose any of these type of displays. I kind of like C personally, but you can get Smith charts
You can
too.
get Smith charts too. Yeah.
But this is C, and it shows you all 4. And it does take a while to sweep through 1601 coefficients 4 times, but you can see it coming across. So if you want, I can show you how to capture the data too, because it's literally taking me a minute to show you that. You just go to the Start menu, Programs, and what you're looking for is, I think it's under Microsoft Office. Yeah, the easiest way is just to launch Excel. Once you have Excel here, you just go to Add-ins, and here it says Agilent VNA. So just click the first button, and it is going to search for available instruments. Just don't even touch this. Just click on this, Identify Instruments, and it will find the network analyzer 8720ES. It's probably the only device that's connected. So click on it, then click here for Connect, and it'll say Connected. So now close. So now these buttons are all available to you. You can export directly to the Excel spreadsheet. So here you want to select, you want the real and imaginary, so click Include Real and Imaginary. Everything else is all selected here. So just click Get Data, and you'll see it's going to get all the data. Now, the thing I don't like about this one is it's very cumbersome because it only captures one S11 or S12, one of the coefficients of the S parameter, or one of the parameters. To capture them all to an S parameter file, just click S2P. So you click this little blue button up here. You select, if it's a 2-port that you've done, you select S2P.
S2-port, okay, yeah.
You give it a description, and you click on OK.
Yep.
You wait a few seconds. I'm just going to save it to my desktop. Give it a name. I accidentally typed LOL, but that's fine. And then it says OK. And then if you go down here, and Nagy has actually an S parameter, like a S2P file viewer built in here, and you can see it's all right here. If you open it with a text browser, you can actually see how the S parameters are stored, and it gives you a little guide up here. And that's really what you'll be doing on the weekend.